Well, how about that? Come here, Raccoonie.
But I guess she can live that long and stay away from doctors and stuff. She doesn't live
Right?
in America. So, yeah.
Pretty amazing.
That's crazy. I wonder how old is the oldest person.
So how does she look for 123?
She looks like old lady, but she looks happy. So
That's wild.
she's standing up in one of the pictures. That's good. She's in shape.
She can stand up.
Yeah, so that didn't get her the fat. That's harder on your body. So, but she's not super skinny either. So that's cool. She's healthy.
Raccoonie, you're not eating your food. What's wrong with you? You have food right here, Raccoonie. How come you're not eating it? Why are you so scared? There's food. Aren't you hungry?
Maybe he's sharing because he's waiting for.
He's just gonna sit there.
Maybe he's actually sharing and he's waiting for the other raccoon.
He's just being a big pussy, I think is what it is.
Could that be possible? I don't
You're gonna lose out, Raccoonie. You should eat this food. I'm not gonna get you. What are you so worried about? I feed you every night. What are you so worried about, Raccoonie? Come get your food. Somebody else is gonna get it if you don't get it, Raccoonie. Maybe I look the other way. Come on, Raccoonie, come eat. There you go. Can you see him? Raccoonie's having some grub. That's a good Raccoonie. You just didn't want to eat while I was looking at you, huh? Okay, I'll just face this way then, Raccoonie. If I had the world to give, I'd give it to you as long as you live. Would you let it fall? Oh, hold it all in your arms. If I had a song to sing, I'd sing it to you as long as you live. Lullaby, or maybe a soft serenade. Wouldn't you laugh, dance or cry, or be afraid at the change you made? Maybe I don't have much to give, but maybe I have a song or two. Only if you let me be your world could I ever give this world to you. Could I ever give this world to you? Could I ever give this world to you? Could I ever give If I had the world to give, I'd give it to you as long as you live. Would you let it fall? Or hold it all in your arms? If I had a song to sing, I'd sing it to you as long as you live. Lullaby, or maybe a soft serenade. Wouldn't you laugh, dance or cry, or be afraid at the change you made? Maybe I don't have much to give. Maybe I have a song or two. Only if you let me be your world, could I ever give this world to you? 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 Ooh, could I ever give this world to you? Ooh, could I ever give this world to you? I will give what love I have to give. How's that go? I will give what love I have to give as long as I live. I forget how that part goes. I will give what love I have to give as long as I live. And I fucking love that song. It's so beautiful. It's written by Jerry Garcia from the Grateful Dead. Yes, indeed. And they never really played a very good version of it. But it's still a beautiful song. I know what he meant to do, but they just could never play it very well. But I think it's beautiful. And I play it so much better than Jerry. Just kidding. Welcome to the Dr. Bas Ackwards evening jam session. Oh yeah, oh yeah, okay. Take me away, take me away, take me away to some other land. Well, I gotta get away from that girl before I go crazy. Well, you took my love away, took it to another man. Gotta get away from that girl before I go Swaziland. I gotta get away from that girl before. I gotta get away from that girl before I go. Gotta get away from that girl before I go crazy. It took my love away, took to another man. Gotta get away from that girl before I go crazy, crazy. Oh. That song was by Ween. By Ween. I love Ween. I really love me some Ween. You know that Steely Dan, the band, named their band after a dildo? Steely Band named their band after a dildo. This is true. So you gotta be careful if you're ever saying like, oh, I love me some Steely Dan. Let me have some of that Steely Dan. I really love me some of that Steely Dan. You don't realize what you're saying. There's a book by William Burroughs called Naked Lunch. It's a fucked up book, man. There's a lady in the book that has a dildo named Steely Dan. That's what they named their band after. It's a famous band named after a dildo. Most people don't even know this. They're like, I love me some Steely Dan. I could really use some Steely Dan right about now. Who wrote that tired sea song? Set off this peaceful shore. You think you've heard this one before? Calling my reservation. So long and thanks, my friend. I guess I try my luck again. I guess I try my luck again. Well, the danger on the rocks is surely past. Still I remain tied to the mast. Could it be that I have found my home at last? My home at last. The danger on the rocks is surely past. Still I remain tied to the mast. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael McDonald. Could it be that I have found my home at last? My home at last. Michael McDonald be like, my home at last. He's all breathy and like, all, all breathy. Could it be? What did he say? Like, what is that one song by him? It's like a... minute by minute. It's like the Doobie Brothers. I keep holding on, minute by minute. Well, I haven't heard that song in a long time. I don't miss it. It was never a song that I really thought was that great. Minute by minute, I keep holding on. It's a real snoozer right there. It's a snoozer. And it's like these 80s songs. There's some 80s songs that sucked that are really good, though. Like that song by like Phil Collins. He's all, what does it always seem to be? You're looking at you, you're looking at me. It's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all. It's so funny. He's like, why does it always seem to be? You're looking at you, you're looking at me. It's always the same. Why does it always seem to be? You're looking at you, you're looking at me. It's always the same, it's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all. Well, I love you more than I wanted to. There's no point in trying to pretend. But just as I thought it was going all right, I found that I'm wrong when I thought I was right. It's always the same, it's just a shame, that's all. Well, I love you more than I wanted to. You'll stay with me till the end. I could say day and you'd say night. Tell me it's black when I know that it's white. So clever, that Phil Collins. What's up, Justina? And what's up, Rogers, Leds, Wells, Wedlow? I know what a lead well is. That's one of them big rigs, one of them big trucks. Isn't it? I'm a rebel, so a rebel. I'm a capturer, a soul adventurer. See the morning sun, see the morning sun on your side. If you're not living good, I beg you travel wide, travel wide. I said I'm a living man, said I'm a living man, and I got work to do. If you're not happy, children, then you must be blue. You must be blue. You must be blue. People say I'm a rebel. I'm a rebel. I'm a soul rebel. I'm a capturer. I'm a capturer. I'm a soul adventurer. Soul adventurer. See the morning sun. See the morning sun on your side. If you're not living good, I beg you travel wide, travel wide. I said I'm a living man. I said I'm a living man, and I've got work to do. I've got work to do. If you're not happy, children, then you must be blue. You must be blue. Ooh, I'm a rebel. So rebel. I'm a capturer. soul, a soul adventurer. See the morning sun, see the morning sun on your side. If you're not living good, I beg you travel wide and travel wide. I said I'm a living man. I said I'm a living man, and I've got work to do. If you're not happy, children, then you must be blue. You must be blue. People say I'm a rebel. Are there any other lyrics in that song? I don't think so. That was by Bob Marley and the Wailers. So far we've done a Grateful Dead song, a Ween song. What else was there? It was some other song. It was like I was singing Phil Collins and then I don't know, what was I doing? Oh, that, yeah, Bob Marley. So I just know all this. I mean, Steely Dan. I mean, dude, I'm just all over the place here. You guys, you guy. I mean, I know there's more than one. You guys, you're just catching a really good show here. I'm all over the place. You never know who I'm going to cover next. But it's likely going to be something from, like, you know, Boomer, Generation X. I don't really know too much new music. Really, I just don't. I mean, I can't think of anything new that I know. New, it's not, it's too new to be known. It's too true to be blue. Who knew that blue wasn't true? Did you? It's too true to be good. Oh man, it's just fucking terrible. Yeah, it's too bad that the truth has become so unbearable. It's like the last thing anyone wants to hear, and it's too late to cover their ears. It's all bad, man, yeah, there goes the neighborhood. It's too true to be good. It's just all wrong. It's too little too late after you waited way too long. And it's just beyond me how anyone could see anything through this convoluted nonsense is too confusing to be understood. I don't know. It's too true to be good. It's just too blue to be true. Too new that blue wasn't true. Did you? I didn't. It's just too true to be good. It's just too good, too bad, too little, too late, too much, too no, too true to be shown here on the likes of YouTube. 'Cause if you say something that the YouTube don't like, well, they come along and they give you a strike. Talking about something that they're trying to hide is a good way to get your tubes tied. Right quick, they don't like that shit. You say something that YouTube don't like, they see to it that you get wiped. Talking about something that they're trying to hide is a good way to get your tubes tied. Right quick, they don't like that shit one bit. They're like, it's too true to be good. There goes the neighborhood. It's too true to bird flu. Well, that's what birds do. The bird flew. And, okay, the bird flew, got the bird flu, then he got sick and died. He didn't fly anymore. He didn't flew. The bird didn't flew. I'd be more worried if the bird didn't flew. I'd be more worried if the bird didn't flew. Why are you so worried about a bird flu? Remember the year the flu disappeared? Where did the flu go? Do you know? Did it fly away or did it just change its name? Where did the flu go? Do you know? Oh, one thing that I know to be true is that the bird flew. Yes, you know, 'cause that's what birds do. And the bat flew, the bird flew too. Where did they fly to? I don't know. Where a flew might flow. Oh, there it goes, a bat flew, the bird flew, they all fly. Did the flu fly too? I don't know. Oh, why? It flies and it flew and it flows out your window. Look, there it goes. I think the flu disappeared because the year of 2020, when the flu disappeared, it's because nobody went and got their flu shot. They were so scared to leave their house. They were like, oh, I'm so scared. I don't want to go get the flu shot this year. I hope I don't die. And so what happened was nobody got the flu shot, and so nobody got the flu. Um, I think it's worth taking note of. Correlation isn't causation, but we could like at least run an experiment. Let's just do that again. Nobody go and get their flu shot. We'll just call it a no flu year. We're gonna see. We're gonna see if by eliminating the flu shot we eliminate the flu season. Because I think that's what happened that year. Because they said, oh no, you're just calling it COVID now. And it's like, no, no, no. I went and checked the hospitals. Okay, like, did you forget about that piece of data? The hospitals were fucking empty. So what that tells you is that nobody was sick. And since there was no flu, that would tell you that, well, there's something that happened that year that prevented the flu from occurring. And what I would say happened was that everybody was scared shitless and they stayed in their houses and hid from the world, including going to see their doctor and getting a flu shot. Therefore, the flu disappeared. No flu shot, no flu season. Yes, it's a very simple to understand hypothesis, and I think we should test it to see, we should run some scientific method studies on this here idea. That's what you do. You get a hypothesis. You're like, I have some data here that's quite interesting because the flu usually has very large numbers. Very large numbers. You better wear a mask. You better be afraid of touching things in human contact. It's terrible. They think of a piece of dead cell matter that your body is shedding is a virus that's going to attack you and kill you. It's this thing that's microscopic, mind you. You can't even see it. And this is the thing you got to be worried about. It's going to kill you. It's the thing that you can't even see. That's basically just decaying matter. Like, that's just one of the stages of its decay. Like, because the way they treat these viruses in the lab is like anything would break down that way. And people have done studies and they see the same fucking thing. It's like, dude, it's fucking voodoo magic, witch doctor crap. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's pseudoscience. There's no virus. It's just people being unhealthy and then thinking themselves sick. You're going to worry yourself sick. That's what happens. And then you go down to the hospital and they finish you off. It's a pretty simple formula. Oh, you need some remdesivir. I mean, I think they're like fucking trolling you, when they say shit like that. It's like, because that sounds like run death is near. You need some run death is near. I mean, why would they name it that? It's aptly named, actually, because they found in the trials that 50% of the patients that were in the trials were dying from organ failure. It's pretty serious, dude. they like they wouldn't have died from organ failure if it wasn't for the drug. And they pulled it from the trial thinking, oh, this is dangerous. That's the drug that Fauci selected. It was an un, unapproved experimental drug that was being foisted upon people that had pneumonia or whatever they had, and it fucking killed them. Oh, they're getting worse. Their condition's getting worse. I wonder why. I mean, what a fucking sham, right? It's fucking disgusting. Like, how could people be that evil? Oh, this looks like a good drug. We'll use this one. What was good about it again? It got pulled from the trial because it was so deadly. That's the one you want to use. It's almost like you want people to die or something. Sheltering in place and covering your face all day with a mask is gonna make you sick. It's gonna get you sick. Sterilizing everything in sight is a neurotic way to live. It's no way to live. Injecting yourself with gene therapy is a really bad thing to do. It's not good for you. Combined with the fact that you're paranoid as fuck, you're just fucking doomed. All of these things combined, you'll be lucky to stay alive. Sheltering in place and covering your face with the mask all day, gonna make you sick. It's gonna get you sick. Sterilizing everything inside is a ridiculous way to live. It's no way to live. Injecting yourself with gene therapy is a really bad thing to do. It's not good for you. Combined with the fact that you're paranoid as fuck. Combined with the fact that you're paranoid as fuck. You're just fucking doomed. All of these things combined, you'll be lucky to stay alive. It's your government mandated death wish. It is a mandate. I gotta grab a smoke. We're gonna mandate you to do these stupid things that nobody would do. Nobody in their right mind would do this. And that's just what people did. Oh, this must be science. It's so science. You don't even know how science it is. The thing is, it was science, but it just wasn't. They weren't telling you what the real science was. There's always science is always happening, whether you believe it or not, or whether they're telling you the true story about it or not. They're like, this is safe and effective. Well, no, that's not true, but it was effective at doing something. Definitely wasn't safe. I mean, you can't say something's safe if there's a possible side effect of death. I mean, isn't that kind of like almost like comedic in a way? It's safe. I mean, one of those side effects is death, but like it's safe. And it's effective. Well, yeah, one of the side effects is you get COVID. So it's not effective or safe. Here's the thing. You can't know if something's safe if you don't know what it is. That's right there. That is just airtight logic. And so, since nobody knew what 50% of the ingredients in those shots were, because that's still undisclosed, nobody knows what 50% of the ingredients in those shots is. And so, therefore, nobody knows that it's safe because they don't know what the fuck it is. It's really simple logic you can use to debunk this kind of crap. I'm sure I'm just preaching to the choir, but like still, just for the record, everybody lied that said it was safe. But there was still some science going on there, just not the kind of science they wanted to tell you about. Science that involves 9 pages of fucking adverse events, like fine print, and counting of rare effects. when you have that many side effects that can possibly happen, I mean, can you still call it rare? I mean, that's like a lot of side effects. I'm not saying that I got to witness any of those, but still, were documented for what it's worth. I mean, clearly it was like there was no concern for like human life or anything. That wasn't. They just more wanted to get that shit in you. You know, it was more like let's just get this stuff in you. Every man, woman, and child on the face of the earth needs to get this new experimental thing that we have no data on, or the data that we do have is terrible. But every man, woman, and child alive needs to get this in them right now. And we're going to use every coercive fucking tactic, including mandating and fucking, shaming. We're going to use all these tactics to make you go get this experimental thing in your body, and like as many of them as we can, put them in you. And there's nothing weird going on here. No. And now let's just sweep that under the carpet there with the rest of everything. There's this big old bulge in the carpet now. I mean, like, you can't even walk across the room now. You're going to trip over the bulge in the carpet from all the stuff everybody's been sweeping under it over the whole years. Like 9/11, that was a huge pile of fucking dustification to sweep under the rug. And there's just so much shit about that gives you cognitive dissonance if you start to look into it. You're like, what? What does he mean by pull it? Oh, we're just going to have to pull it. There's been such a tragic loss of life and stuff. We're just going to have to go ahead and pull it. And so we pulled it. I mean, what? Is that like terminology that we're not hip to? I mean, it sounds to me like he knows of a certain way of demolishing buildings that involves just pulling it. That would really make it kind of change things a little bit. If you could just pull it, you just got to pull it. You gotta pull it. Oh, you gotta pull it, and the whole thing comes crashing down to the ground. And you just gotta pull it, boy. You gotta pull it. It turns to dust and falls to the floor. That building number 7 don't stand there no more. They pulled it. Yeah, you gotta pull it, boy. You gotta pull it. Surprise for telling so many lies. You're such an actor. You're just a big phony. Everybody's phony. All them journalists. Like, if somebody says we had to pull it, like that's the question that's the information you should be following up on. Like, so what do you mean by pulling it? Like, that's the one piece of data right there that, like, this guy, apparently he knows about something that we don't know. You can just pull it. You got to pull it. We need to put that on blast because, like, that didn't get enough attention. No journalists followed up on it. They're like, oh, yeah, I pull it. Yeah, that's what you do. And there's buildings that are on fire. You can just pull it so it just falls and turns into dust. It's way easier than just, like, trying to put the fire out. You know what I'm saying? You just got to pull it. So yeah, everybody saw those buildings turn to dust and fall into a pile of dust on the floor. And we're all supposed to believe that that happened because of pancaking. That's what we got for a story. It pancaked. Those buildings all pancaked. They don't mention Building 7, of course. That's just for conspiracy theorists to fuck with. Pancaking is like this idea that, like, that each floor falls on the floor below it, and then the weight of all the floors starts to add up, and so it's like it goes faster and faster as it falls down. The weight exponentially increases or whatever. And so it would have looked like this. It wouldn't have looked like this, which it did look like that. Faster than you could clap your hands a dozen times. A 110-story building fell before your eyes. Twice. And let's not forget Building 7, the 47-floor building, where something quite peculiar happened. Because it collapsed in the exact same fashion. However, it was strange because it wasn't hit by planes, and to this day it remains yet to be explained. But you never hear anyone up on the television just be like, hey, wait, 2 planes, 3 buildings? Please explain, I don't understand. And then you got the conspiracy theorists be like, there wasn't any planes, man. It was all just a made-for-TV, drama. I guess the people that were there, it was kind of real. But still, I don't think anybody really saw a plane hit any building. That was all just like CGI, man. That's been proven. That was just fake. There wasn't any planes. That's why they had to put like an inflated landing gear on the ground. Like, look, there's a piece of a plane. There's an inflated landing gear tire and it's sitting there by itself. Oh, look, a tire fell off the plane. I mean, can you imagine being on task to put to like provide that kind of like stage prop? We got to go drop off a inflated tire here to make it look like a plane crashed into the building. That way people believe it. I don't think any planes hit those buildings. I don't. I don't think anybody jumped out of those buildings either. Those must have been dummies or something. Or like, yeah, I mean, I don't think that's what happened. I don't think anybody was even working on those. I think those floors were closed off. That's like the floors where like those fucking Jewish art students had that area they were renting, before the whole thing happened. And they were doing this weird, they called it art, but they were like out, they had like, they'd taken the windows out of the building and they had like this balcony thing that they'd put where they were outside of the building while a helicopter would fly over and take pictures of them while they were doing weird shit with their clothes and like weird things with like towels and making all this weird shit. And like they were getting footage of these guys outside of the building, on this little platform they had, doing these weird, like, they called it art, right? But like what they were doing, they were taking pictures of these guys with like clothing. They were like flapping around and stuff. And they were taking pictures of those guys outside of the building, right? With clothes flapping around. And all they had to do was just invert the image and it looked like somebody falling out of the building. I mean, it seems kind of a desperate attempt at making those kind of pictures, but still, what the hell were they doing there though? I mean, that's just so weird. And they had access to the support, like the internal support columns. I mean, because the upper floors were gutted. Like they had done all kinds of weird. You know what I mean? They were fucking around up there before it all happened. These Jewish people, these Israeli art students. It's always like kind of right in your face the way that Israel's like always like right up in the middle of everything. I love you, baby. It's like they want you to know. It's like the dancing Israelis are like, oh look, we're celebrating. I mean, they wanted people to see that. It wasn't like an accident that they got caught. The dancing Israelis. I find it hard to believe anything that I see on the TV now. I mean, they make it look kind of real though. Like if you just let yourself get pulled into it, you think you're watching like real stuff that's happening. And they fool you by putting in some real shit, like on your local news or whatever. It's going to be stuff that you might actually know that's true, but then it's mixed in with all these like fucking, Operation Mockingbird stories. That it's like prepackaged news articles that they hand every fucking news channel in the nation. That's why they're all like, you can take clips of every single news channel saying the same lines. It's a threat to our democracy. All too often, people are not fact checking their facts and blah 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 blah. And so it's like that was their attempt at trying to like get people to stop paying attention to like other news sources. And they fucking shot themselves in the foot where like it was been blown up. Like their whole script got totally blown up. Everybody saw because people took clips of every news station saying the same fucking thing. And so, which was like basically an attempt to like get people to like to try to discredit alternative news and like get people to pay attention to the mainstream media again. But like what it did was it showed that they're fucking scripted and that they're full of shit. And so like their attempts at trying to like steer the ship and like keep people brainwashed ended up exposing them as being scripted fucking Mockingbird Media, you know? And so it's like, I mean, do they fail that hard on purpose? Like, it just blows me away. Like, these guys that have such a stranglehold on the information, they make such bonehead maneuvers, you know? I mean, and same thing with like NASA, you know, they make these mistakes like the ISS. There's like clips, you know, there's like bloopers where the green screen you can see the green screen where it's like a fucking mistake, you know. But I guess like how come like you could see the green screen. I have clips of NASA footage when they're on the ISS where there's like a little mistake that was made where you can see the green screen. It's unmistakable. So it's like they're busted, you know what I mean? Like there goes the whole gag. But yet they keep doing it and people keep believing they're going to space and but like it's been busted though. There was a green screen and nobody ever addresses it. Like, come on, man. I mean, that's like some bonehead status, you know. I mean, like you can go watch a Disney, you know, like a fucking Hollywood flick. You know, they make pretty good space movies. They seem believable. Look a lot better than NASA's fucking rinky-dink, fucking low-budget looking shit. But $80 million a day, it's an awful lot of money to pay to get such a cheesy presentation of the International Space Station. And they do their spacewalks. I think they're in a swimming pool on Earth. When I see those bubbles in space, bubbles in space, and I see the dupers look of delight on their face. They're doing that science, a science of deception. Oh, for shame. They got a lot of hairspray. You gotta use a lot of hairspray if you wanna make your hair look that way. Like you're in a low G environment where they show you how to use the toilet. It's valuable information. You got a vacuum for number one, and a bucket and a bag for number two. Ooh. They do the science of somersault science. It's valuable research. But the more money you shovel at NASA, the more rinky-dink they get. It almost appears to be low budget. But $80 million a day, you think you'd have more to say for yourself, but they don't got nothing to say or show. No. Their interviews leave a lot to be desired. It's just a bunch of fluff talk. We're trying to inspire the youth to explore the progress of mankind. It blows my mind. It's the most embarrassing achievement of mankind. Kind of like the moon landing, where you can tell the lunar lander was just a cheap movie stage prop. And they destroyed the technology. Yeah, I would have destroyed it too. Get rid of all that evidence, quick. Take it out in the dumpster out back and light it on fire. Get rid of that shit, it's embarrassing. It was a dumpster fire indeed, the Apollo moon landings. We got Chuck Duke, who wants to talk to Bart Sibrel. What's the point of this conversation? He was totally fucking clueless. He basically made himself look like a guilty party. We brought back 200 pounds of moon rocks. Where did we get those? I walked on the moon, he said. And Bart Brown, he shook his head and said, You deserve an Emmy for your acting, 'cause you're full of shit. And they laughed at him, and he just laughed as well, 'cause he knows that he's just been sent there to shill for the government. Believe in it, believe our story, please. We really walked on the moon 6 times without a hitch. We flew astronauts to the moon, and technology we no longer have, it doesn't exist. I argue it never existed, since every shred of proof that they went there has been destroyed or lost. I can't tell you where that might have run off to. We don't know. But I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond. I'd go to the moon in nanoseconds. But I don't have the technology right now. We used to have it, but we destroyed it. And it's a painful process to build it back again. I'd go to the moon in nanoseconds, but I don't have the technology right now. We used to have it, but we destroyed it. It's a painful process to build it back again. So build it back already. Isn't that what you guys do there? Do it, straight laces. What's up, buddy? Nice to see ya. So they were talking about Chuck Duke, Chuck Duke. He's full of dookie, all right. He was talking about how they had to like when their fourth stage of the or whatever the last stage of the Saturn V separated from the pod they were in, on the way to the moon. They had to somehow flip the spaceship around complete opposite direction. He said they made a U-turn. Then they had to line up the spaceship. I think you were talking about this, Roger. I don't know if you're still there, but they had to line up the spaceship with the stage that had separated, and they had to. I'm still trying to picture how this is done, but they had to line it up with this thing that's separated from already, and then they had to slide the cone of the spaceship into the limb that was still inside the thing that had separated from them. They needed the limb so they could go to the moon, and so they're like up there, and the thing separates, and they're like, they had to go like 25,000 miles per hour or something to get out of orbit. They're like on their way to the moon. They separate from the thing, but they got to get the limb out of the thing that's separated from them. This is part of the maneuver they had to do. And so they had to line up with the thing that they had separated from. They're getting momentum from this thing that they separated from. The rocket loses stages along the way. It's like boosts, it's like it's creating momentum, right? So when it's separated from whatever stage they separated from, that means that thing that they're separating from has given all the boost that it could give, and so they no longer need it. They get rid of that part. And so each stage is a boost of fuel, where they like push the rocket faster. So here the last stage, they get rid of that one. That's the last boost they had, right? Or at least from the rockets, the Saturn V or whatever. And so, but the thing is, the last one had the limb inside of it, so they had to turn the ship around and retrieve the limb out of the fucking thing that had separated, so they could bring it with them to the moon. Mind you, that these stages are for like gaining momentum. You're trying to get up to 25,000 miles per hour, right? No problem. So these rocket stage, they're boosting the rocket. So at the point when you separate from the last stage, and I'm imagining that you're going pretty fucking fast, right? But now you got to turn around and get the fucking limb out of it. Like this is a part of the story that I was unaware of before. Like I don't know why I missed that before because that's just like what? So like I explained all that for a reason. It's like because you got momentum going. These things are pushing you in a direction. The rocket stages that you're separating from. So it's like so at the point where your last stage separates. Like you don't want to turn around. I mean, how exactly are you going to turn around without losing all that momentum that you just built up? Like there's a reason why those stages are on the rocket. It's to boost it faster and faster. And so like you want to turn around? I mean, is it just like they're still moving the same direction, but they just flip the ship around, so they're flying backwards for a second or something? I mean, what in the fuck? Then they had to retrieve the limb out of the thing they just separated from. Like, how in the hell are we gonna believe that? Like, what is going on? I mean, what the fuck? That's where the story completely falls apart. I mean, it fell apart. It falls apart at every step of the way. But I mean, that part is just like cartoon like. How in the fuck are you gonna pull that off? Like, what is going on here? How do we miss that? I mean, I don't think I've seen anybody cover that part. And Chuck Duke was one who brought it to my attention. He was explaining how they had to make a U-turn after they separated. I'm like, you don't make a U-turn. How could you make a U-turn? Then you get back on course. I mean, like, what was the point of having the stages then? Because I mean, it's like if you can just make U-turns and then go back and turn around and go again, like, what is the point of having all these rocket stages that you're separate? I mean, what is going on? That's part of the story. Just I've had such cognitive dissonance trying to understand how that would have worked. And I think I remember seeing some footage of some of that where they had to line up the limb with the fucking cone of the. I don't know. It's so stupid, dude. It's like, why would they make the story that hard to believe? It's almost so hard to believe that you almost think for a second, like, it's like you can't make this stuff up. I mean, did it really happen? No. But like, how did you make up such a fucking lousy story? Like, what is going on? How did he make a U-turn? Why would he think that they made a U-turn? Unless it's part of the story. I mean, did I miss something? Am I just the only guy that noticed that? It's really crazy, dude. I heard somebody talking about it on Roger's show. I think that might have been Roger, but they were just remarking on how they had to line up the limb at that point. But they also had to line it up again. Oh no, who was it that was talking about it? I think it was Saab, because he was talking about like he has this to scale model of it, and where it's like they couldn't have gotten in and out of the limb with their spacesuits on because it's such a narrow passage into it. Like after they line up the limb with the spaceship that they're the orbiter or whatever, it hooks into it, and then I guess it seals and they take off the part of it and they can climb into it, and then they let it go and drop it down to the moon and his little legs pop out, this little flimsy looking fucking shit with like construction paper all peeling up on the side and fucking plastic shit hanging off in tinfoil. That's the thing that they dropped out of lunar orbit, and it fell at like 9,000 miles per hour, pressurized, and landed safely with these guys in it. I mean, it was such a shoddy story. Like nothing like that was happening, dude. I mean, that's just painfully obvious. And I mean, it's just been debunked, and there's still people that want to argue in favor of it. Jeranism now he's saying he can't debunk the moon landing. That's his position now. He can't debunk it, which means that he thinks it's real. Which I mean, I don't think he can genuinely believe that it's real, but I mean, it kind of blows my mind that somebody could be as retarded as that, where you were just exposing NASA and all their fraudulent. I mean, does he take it all back? I mean, because he can't. I mean, because uh, it's like Jeranism was a fucking agent, like a plant. I mean, but that's like some seriously good act. I mean, like a fucking that's some commitment. You know what I mean? Like, because I mean, the whole thing with the Jeranism channel. I mean, it's like it just puts the whole thing into question. Like, was this all just a big performance? Like, are you for real? Like, because I mean, he would make all the arguments that debunk the things that he's saying now, and he hasn't. you know, he hasn't like gone back and like said like this is I, you know, what I said, and I, you know what I mean. It hasn't been like whatever like reconciled in the way where like it should have been. He still hasn't even addressed the whole deal with like the North or the South Pole bases not having any 24-hour sun videos. Like none of them have a 24-hour sun video on the science bases down there, but he goes down there and they manage to catch it, you know, that easily. Where these scientific bases that have been down there, I mean, it's like the whole thing was a big psyop. Like, what the fuck is going on? If I was, I would think that a real situation where Jarianism would have got back and been like, now we got to figure out why these bases weren't able to get what we were able to get. Like, how come none of these bases were able to show a 24-hour sun video, but we went down there and it was a piece of cake? I mean, I would just think that, you know, it's just not genuine for him to be so anti-flat earther right away. It's like he was ready to just bail, you know, like I want to just like rip on flat earthers. It's like he saw, you know, McToon's business model, and you know, it's like, wow, he makes a lot of money. These guys are all just like sold out dirtbags. I mean, really, it's just kind of sad that I wasted any of my time fucking watching their dumb shit. I mean, it totally feels like, you know, they try to rope you in and then fucking rip the carpet out from under you. I mean, that's the kind of feeling I get from Jaranism's content. Ropes you in, yanks the carpet out from under you. Earth's flat. Oh, wait, no, it's a globe. So he was on the globe, then he was on the flat, and then he's back on the globe. It's like you can't waffle with this shit, man. It's like once you realize the Earth is flat, you just kind of just realize it, you know? I mean, like basically, like if the sky wasn't visible, like if for some reason we couldn't see the sky, which would suck, we wouldn't have night or day or anything. But my point is, without the sky, you would never think for a second that the Earth was a ball. It's simply the sky that's got us hypnotized into thinking that, or whatever. Not me, but like a lot of people. I mean, I do understand. I mean, it's a very complex model, really. I mean, the geometry of it is pretty wild, and it's been very diligently crafted. I mean, it's nothing to really scoff at, really. I mean, the idea that we're on a spinning ball flying through a vacuum is scoff worthy for sure, but the model in itself is pretty brilliant. I mean, with the analemma, that's what really blows my mind. It's like if you had a ball that was spinning, but it was tilted in reference to the sun. You know, it's tilted at the sun, so it's not pointed right at it. It's tilted kind of away from it. So when a ball is spinning but it's tilted, it causes it to wobble. You know, and which would create like a it would create like a profile image, like the analemma. I think is kind of like a profile image of the wobble. But I guess they say it's because of our elliptical orbit. Here's the thing that what people are saying about the analemma, which is kind of bugging me, is they're saying, well, it's like a small loop. I was saying this too, but I did more research on it. There's a smaller loop in the north and there's a bigger loop in the south, the analemma. And that we thought that was like a good flat Earth evidence, you know, oh, because there's a bigger loop in the south because it's bigger in the south, or it's, you know, whatever. It kind of jives with the flat Earth idea. But then it's like, but here's what's up though. When you do the analemma when you're in the south, the bigger loop is in the north. Apparently, I haven't gone and done this, but that's what my research has taught me is that the analemma is well, it's location dependent, but like the thing is, you're going to see a bigger loop in the south and a smaller loop in the north when you're viewing it from the north. But then you go to the south and you do the analemma, you're going to see the bigger loop in the north, and you're going to see the smaller loop in the south. It's going to be reversed. So it's so yet again, there's like another piece of evidence that's kind of like people weren't really they didn't do thorough enough research because people were using that bit of conversation is I mean that bit of evidence has been popping up in flat Earth conversations a lot. I was watching a show earlier where they were talking about like Geo and these guys are like talking about how there's a bigger loop in the south and how this could go with the flat Earth model or whatever. And I was wishing I could talk. It was like a recording of a live show, but I wanted to butt in and be like, no, you see, there's a bigger loop in the north if you're in the south looking at it. So that doesn't, you're not, you're not using that data correctly for your argument. I mean, and I don't know what that really tells us either. With the bigger loop being in the opposite hemisphere, for lack of a better word. Like the opposite hemisphere is where the bigger loop is going to be. Like if you're in the south, you're going to see the bigger loop being in the north. If you're in the north, you're going to see the bigger loop being in the south. And that's interesting. And I think the globe model has, this is the thing. The globe model has incorporated every observation you could possibly think of, and they've done the math and factored it all in. It's been really well put together. And here's another piece of evidence with the sunspots that are like, we see them in motion around the sun, the sunspots. And but the thing is, are the sunspots in motion or are we in motion around the sun? That's another piece of evidence they use for us being in motion around the sun. They're like, well, either the sunspots are moving or we are. And well, it's like, yeah, but we can see the sunspots moving, but we can't feel ourselves moving, and we don't see any sign. We can't detect any motion. So it is still kind of a leap to make that assumption. Really, to make the assumption that you're living on a ball, that should be the last possible explanation that you should land on, really, because it's crazy. I mean, because like what we have to believe is like, because like if you have a ball, like a basketball or whatever, and you try to make water stick to it and like put people on it and stuff, they're gonna fall off, right? It's pretty obvious what's gonna happen. You can't model the globe Earth, in a lab setting. You can't, because it's like, you know, stuff falls off the ball. But it's the thing, man. You're dealing with small balls in the lab. You got to deal with really big balls. See, when you got a really big ball, it's a whole different story, a whole different kind of properties in the gravity, and now when you have a big ball, things don't fall off the big ball. Everything feels like it's standing upright, and everything's all oriented, all like as if it was flat. But on a small ball, it's a different story. Small balls have different things, and different stuff happens on a small ball. You have to have a really big ball before you get the thing where like everybody feels like they're standing upright and nobody's upside down. That kind of like, you know, we're talking big balls. Like flat earthers are all stuck trying to think, oh, little balls. But no, we're talking about a big ball. It's a whole different thing that happens on big balls. Stop talking about little balls. It's not a good comparison. And I think that's just so dumb that we would be expected to believe that like at a certain size of ball is going to have like different results. Like you could have like these balls and like, but one of them is going to be really big, and that ball is going to have different properties, different qualities. Like you can walk on that ball, you can go land anywhere on that ball and feel like you're standing upright. But on a little ball, no, you're not going to have that same situation. You're going to fall off the little ball. Yeah. So it's all about size. It's not relative at all. There's a certain size where things just totally change, and the whole science just goes out the window. If you want to believe in the globe model, that is. Here's the thing about the globe model that I really don't think is true. Well, like basically, here's what we're supposed to believe. Like, say you're drawing perimeters on the Earth, like you can own a piece of property that has a lake on it, or you can own part of a ocean even. You can make measurements that include water. So the reason I say that is because, let's say, what's the biggest circumference you can draw on the Earth, like including over water? Like just not just land, but just like you're gonna go measure out a piece of property, but like the biggest circumference you can possibly draw that's encompassing the most Earth. Like I can draw a circle around my yard. I can draw a circle around my neighborhood. Like you can draw a circle, around the whole country. But what's the biggest circle you can draw on Earth? And people they're going to end up going to the globe model in their mind. They're going to think, oh well, it's at the equator or the median. That's the biggest circle you can draw. Well, the equator is supposed to be a straight line, so it's technically not a circle on the globe model. But the biggest circle would be right before that, right? It would be or like if you're talking the equator, the median, it would be the latitude line that's right before zero. So that would be the biggest circle. So the biggest circle you could draw on Earth is encompassing a little bit less than half the available area. So think about that. The biggest circle you can draw on Earth is only encompassing less than half the available space. it's like if you just scale this back down, it's like what if I said the biggest circle I can draw in my yard is circling a little bit less than half of my yard? That would sound retarded. And so it sounds retarded when it's big too. That's why I always say, dude, if people start making fun of me for being a flat earther, I'm like, well, hey, if I draw a circle on the ground, can you draw a smaller circle around the outside of it? And they always say no. I'm like, well, what if I draw a really big circle? Then can you draw a smaller circle around the outside of it? And they say no. I'm like, so are you saying that the size of the circle I draw is irrelevant? It's always going to be impossible to draw a smaller circle around the outside of it? And they'll be like, yeah, why? I'm like, okay, so you agree with me that the circles are just going to have to get bigger? Because it's always going to be impossible to draw a smaller circle around the outside of the circle. And yeah, so the circles just get bigger? Yeah, indefinitely. You know, I drag it all the way out. Yeah, why? And I was like, oh, okay, well, I was just making sure that you're a flat earther too. Welcome to flat Earth, because that's what I think too. I agree with that line of reasoning. I agree that the Earth's expanse can only widen. You'll only see it get wider and wider. You can't draw a smaller circle. You can't make a smaller perimeter around the outside of another one. That's logic. I mean, that's what we know intuitively, and everybody does. I mean, I've asked these globers that are like globe proponents that are like always fighting flat earthers with vicious like whatever vitriol, and it's like I'll ask them those questions and they walk right into my little flat earth trap every time. Duffy did, Sean Hawkins, all these clowns, they walk right into it. They don't know what I'm getting at. And I'm like, well, dude, if the circles can only get bigger, that means the earth expanse can only widen. And that doesn't jive with your globe model, because on the globe model, if you're drawing circles on the face of the earth, the biggest, it's like eventually the circles get so big, but then they have to start getting smaller. Like the latitude lines are circles, except for the equator is supposed to be a straight line, but whatever. The point of it is, like, a perimeter can only get so wide on a ball, and then, it's going to have to start to close back up as it goes back down to the, because you're supposed to believe that, like, if you're standing in the middle of a circle right here, and that circle starts to expand evenly in every direction, you would think that if you didn't move and that circle just kept expanding indefinitely, that you would always be right in the middle, because it started right here at you and it's expanding out evenly in every direction. You would think you would always be right in the middle of that circle, but that circle would only expand so wide on a globe, and then it would have to start shrinking back down to the other end of the world. And once it passes the median, you're no longer standing in the middle of that circle. That circle's closing up around a different center location that left you behind at the after it passed the median. So you wouldn't always be in the middle of that circle. That circle flips around kind of and starts closing in on a different center location. It's the kind of like geometry that people don't really think about when they say they believe in the globe. They're not really considering the fact that there's certain things that would have to happen that don't jive with our logical. Like, we'd have to depart from what we all expect to be reality in order for it to work. And like, that's where I kind of fall off the whole idea of living on a ball. I mean, I just think about it, I'm like, well, there's just some weird things that would have to happen that just wouldn't make sense, and nobody would really know how to reckon with. I mean, I say that, like, if you start, like, if you have a piece of property and you just start adding to it, and you keep adding to it, the measurement around all that property is going to grow, and you just keep adding to it. There's a lot of property here on Earth to own, including oceans and whatever. Like, you keep adding to a piece of property, the number, the measurement around it is going to increase, and so the number, it's a number. It's a data point. They have a perimeter around all their property. Keep adding more property, and so the number keeps growing, because you're always adding, never subtracting. So that perimeter around your property can only increase. It just keeps increasing, and you keep adding, and there's just nothing but more space to add, and so you just keep adding, never subtracting. So that number, the measurement around your property, can only increase because you're only adding, you're never subtracting. So it can only widen. There'll never be a way for it to get any other result. And with that in mind, that's a flat earth right there. There has to be a point where you make a perimeter that's wide enough to encompass the entire known world. We're supposed to think that we couldn't draw a perimeter around the entire known world. It's not possible on a globe. They'd be like, oh, well, the equator technically is circling the whole world. No, it isn't. That's where you kind of have to like leave the logic behind. Like we all live on Earth as though we're a planar realm. I mean, I say if you start off with a circle and you're expanding outward, you're just going to always have circles. They'll get to the point where they're going to be really big, or you might run into an impassable place. But I don't think you would ever see a different shape. If you start off with circles and you just move out concentric circles, they're just going to get wider and wider. You're never going to, if there's ever a straight line, which, if you're mapping the ground based on what the sky is doing, there would have to be a straight line at the equator because that's where the sun goes in a straight line. And the stars, it's like that's where everything converges, right there at the equator. That's the center of the whole thing, which is crazy. I mean, that's been one thing that's caused me cognitive dissonance with the flat Earth reality too, is because it's like, well, if the sun is going straight over your head at the equator, then it comes back over here and it's just moving in a straight line during the equinox. That's a pretty hard one to wrap your mind around, but it's a sky observation. For all we know, we're just looking at a fancy light show. Basically, that's really all we can really hang our hat on is it's a fancy light show. I mean, because that's all it is. We can't go run experiments on it. We could try to, deduce from what we see that there's certain things like, perhaps the Earth is a globe, but then the Earth would have to be curving. You would have to be able to find curvature. You'd have to see evidence of that. And so, so when you do go try to find evidence of it and it's not there, then you have to start scratching your head going, well, maybe the sky told us that the Earth was a globe, but it wasn't. Or maybe there's just some other explanation that we can actually find evidence to go with it. And the fact that the government's faking space, I mean, that's a huge part of the puzzle here. We can't discount that. It's huge. If they gotta fake that shit, well, there's a damn good reason why they're doing it. There's many reasons. But if people can't even accept the fact that the space shit is fake, then they're just a long ways from being able to have this conversation. But it is fake, though. It's really fake. It's so fake. U-turns, yeah. Yeah, we're caught between a rock and a hard place. That's like a truth drop right there. It's like we're caught between a fucking rock and a hard place. The rock being the terra firma and the hard place being the firmament. Caught between a rock and a hard place. That's our reality right there. Hi, raccoonies. Where were you guys? You guys were late. You guys sleep in or what? One of you guys was up here earlier, but the rest of you weren't. Where'd you all go? I gotta get these guys some food. They're eating me out of house and home. Do it, straight laces, do it. Is your name Josh? Oh, real not. Hey, what's up, real not for real? What is it? Real or not for real? What's good? What's good? You guys mind hanging out for a second if you're still there? I'm just gonna run inside to grab some cat food for the raccoons here. Then you guys can hang out and watch the raccoons eat with me. I'll be right back. Less than a minute. I'll be right back, Raccoonie. I'm gonna get you some crunchies, okay? Sorry. Raccoony feeding time. The raccoons will feed. I'm gonna turn the camera around here. Raccoonies, you want some food? You want some food? Here, let's go. Oh, look at all that grub. You guys are stoked. Scarf that shit down. Take it easy. Hey, no fighting. Are you for real? That's enough for all of you. Don't be a jerk. I'll spread it out a little bit. Why are you being a butthead, big one? I don't like when they're mean. Don't be mean. This is the big one. Those are the babies. The big one's like, get out of here. You guys are old enough to move out. Go find your own food. Is that your mean mama trying to keep you from eating? You don't want your kid to eat? What's wrong with you? You know, you're being a butthead. I don't really appreciate that. Big grumpy butthead. Why don't you let your kids eat? That's enough out of you. There we go. I kicked it over so they could eat some. They're such cute animals.
Hi guys. What are you guys doing?
So cute. The big mama was being mean. Settle down. I've been tripping lately on the ocean. Like, the earth seems to be like a human-centric creation where we're like stewards of the earth kind of thing, you know? But when you think about it, that's enough, you guys. Jeez. It's like the earth is mostly ocean. And so it's almost as though the place is created more in favor of marine life. And the ocean has really got my interest lately where it's like, I'm thinking we see evidence of vast amounts of water, like a fluctuation in ocean level that's just like mind-boggling. I mean, I can find shark teeth in a dry riverbed up the street from me. I'm like at 1,000 feet elevation. I mean, if sharks were feeding there, I mean, the ocean would have had to have been like a couple thousand feet higher than it is right now. You know, people want to say, oh, tectonic plates pushed it all up there. Well, I guess you could make that argument. That's one possible. Seems kind of crazy, but then there's also the fact that we can find underwater cities. There's some that have been found like 2,000 feet below the water, like perfectly leveled cities that are all intact, where it's like obviously the ocean wasn't there when they built those cities. That's like a kilometer's worth of ocean discrepancy right there. I mean, that's a lot of fucking water that's apparently been added to our environment that wasn't there before. It doesn't rain salt water. So, I mean, where did all this fucking extra water come from? And that's like, you know, where did all the extra water go? I mean, if it was 2,000 feet higher than it is now, and there was a time when it was possibly 2,000 feet lower or more than it was back then, you know, when they built these cities that are now buried 2,000 feet below the water. It's like, did we have that much extra water added to our environment? It didn't come from the sky. It didn't rain. It doesn't rain salt water. Did somebody like fucking pull a plug and like it came up from the ground? I think the chances are more likely that this ocean waters were added to our system, that was the big flood, but it came from the ground. I think it came out of the ground and it's been sinking back into it. But I don't know. I mean, where does it go? I mean, I don't like how did it get here and how does it lower? Like, because I'm under the impression that if the water was higher, and the water was lower, we have evidence of both. Then that means the ocean level fluctuates to like vast degrees. Like, where does it go and where does it come from? Like, does it is it just like a pressure differential where it pushed up and now it's settling back down, going sinking very slowly back into the. I mean, we don't know how deep the Earth goes. It could go forever for all we know. But like, it's just interesting that there'd be evidence of the ocean levels being differing so greatly. I mean, I think there might have been a time when there was a lot less ocean here. I think that's what all the underwater cities kind of proved to us. I don't think they sank down there. That doesn't make sense. They'd be dilapidated. They wouldn't be all level. I mean, I've been studying this for a while now. I've seen a lot of underwater cities, and they're all intact. You can tell they were built where they're at. They didn't just end up down there. They didn't fall down there or sink down there due to some cataclysm. It doesn't look like that at all. I wouldn't I wouldn't want to make that argument. I'd feel stupid because it doesn't appear to be what happened. But then you have to make the argument, well, then the water wasn't there when they built them because it's clearly built by like beings such as ourselves. I mean, maybe giants, who knows? But I mean, it's like it looks like man-made cities, and like, but they're like 2,000 feet below the water, and there's no evidence of them having sunk down there. So we just have to assume that maybe the water wasn't there. But that amount of water, I mean, it's like a worldwide 2,000 feet. I mean, that's like fucking so much water. Where would it come from? It's just like this. I've got my mind all tangled up in a knot thinking about this all the time. And the salt water, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, because we're like an electric creature, the humans, and we're just in an electric realm. There's energy. It's all energy. It's electric. Life is about electricity, kind of. It's energy. And salt water, the ocean it's all about electric shit. Like the further down you go, the more electric it gets. Like there's like electric eels, and there's like the lantern fish, and there's a lot of electric creatures that are marine creatures that are electric. They it's part of their, you know, that whether it be their defense or their like their weapon they use, or like the lanternfish. It's like they lure in other fish and then they eat them. That's some crazy shit, dude. And there's like there's these crabs that they're like the blue-blooded crabs. They have like there's blue-blooded animals from the ocean, and it's because they have a lot of copper in their blood. That's what makes their blood blue. And so copper is highly conductive, and the ocean there's like all this electric shit going on in there, You have like conductive blood. It's pretty wild, man. I mean, there's metals and minerals found in all blood. Like there's gold in blood. And I have half a mind to think that's where gold comes from. I mean, there's gold in your veins for real. I mean, it has to be refined and, it's like, whatever trace amounts, but there is gold in your blood. And like if there's, titans the size of mountains or huge people and they died, and well, there's gold in your veins and there's gold in veins in the mountains. That's where you find gold. It's in a vein in the mountain. So, for all we know, and here's another interesting thing. The gold that's found, like whenever you find gold, like I did some research on this, it's like the minerals that are found with gold, like there's calcite, there's, all these other kind of minerals that you'll find in the same vicinity of gold, and it's the same minerals that you'll find in your blood. It's like the minerals that are found in, in whatever, in the same area, like whatever, in the same locality, whatever. It's like the same minerals you'd find with the gold and when you're gold mining are the same minerals that you'll find in your veins with the gold. So it's almost as though they're finding veins of gold in the mountains that were once veins for like giant creatures or dragons or something. And they just, biodegraded and all the mineral replacement and fossilization took place, and part of that process involved the gold being refined, or once the blood is gone, whatever trace minerals that were in the blood are left in the landfill. Like, where else would gold come from? They try to tell you that gold comes from supernovas and it splatters the earth. That's some bullshit right there. I mean, if we know that you can find gold in blood, then that's one place where gold comes from. Why wouldn't they even include that in there? Because if you try to look up where gold comes from, or they say it comes from supernovas. I swear I've seen that. But that's just like a fucking cool story, bro. But we know we can find gold and trace elements of it in blood. Why wouldn't they include that? That's also a place where gold is found. I mean, that's where it's made. I guess you could say that's how it forms, or I don't know. I mean, this is just the magic of creation. Like, metals are just a weird. I mean, it's just the idea of like refining iron ore and creating. I think about this sometimes. I'm like, if you're gonna start a civilization in a country where it's like just countryside, it's untouched by man. It's a new world from the ground up. Even if you have all the knowledge of like how to, build like masonry buildings or like make metal, if you know how to refine ore and all the steps that are necessary. I mean, even if you have all that information and you know how to do it, it still would take a long time before you're able to mass produce iron I-beams to make skyscrapers and bridges. I mean, it'd be a long time in the making, I mean, I guess you could bring over, I mean, I guess you could sail across the ocean. I mean, I'm just saying it's like the whole, whatever, science of metallurgy, whatever they call it, where it's like you're refining iron ore. You have to break down rocks and dirt and find it in the environment, refine it. You have to get all the you have to know how to separate it out of the rocks and the dirt. Then you have to gather it all up, refine it, and that involves chemistry. There's certain other things you have to add to it to make it stronger, to make it bind. I mean, it's a whole process. It's not like something you would just stumble into. I mean, this is like just, I mean, it's information. If we were going to claim responsibility for having that information, like we just learned it over the years, I mean, that's compiled knowledge that would have taken, centuries before you're sitting there with like a sword in your hand. I mean, it's like just to even know that that's something you could make out of what we have here in nature. I mean, that would take some higher knowledge or something. It's like that's why there's tales of like angels coming down out of the sky and teaching us about metals and magnets and electricity and shit. I mean, we've known about electricity a lot longer than they say. That's a fact. Like even in the Bible, there's discussions of the snakes on a pole. The snakes on a pole. It's like the caduceus, the symbol, like that they have for medical. It's like you see it on ambulances, the snakes on a pole. And there's like commerce and medical, and they both use the caduceus symbol. Snakes on a pole. It's kind of creepy, but here's the thing, though. It's like the snakes on a pole. There's reference to it in the Bible. I can't say how old the Bible is. I mean, but it's supposedly thousands of years old. But the snakes on a pole is a symbol for electricity, because a snake is a copper wire. That's what you call wires, snakes. And a pole is a magnet. So you put copper wire around a magnet, you have electricity. It's a symbol. It's a symbol for electricity. It's energy, currency. The snake's on a pole. Like the dollar sign is snake on a pole. It's currency. It's electric. This is like age-old information. We've known about this shit for a long time, but we just try to think that, we just invented electricity in like 150 years ago or something. No, man, it's been understood forever. But it's just like we just got reset or something, or we just forgot a bunch of stuff. We're suffering from like amnesia. We've been like fucking dumbed down. We had to go like relearn everything, or something weird happened, man. Something fucking weird happened. Take the E out of gold. There's no E. Oh, L. Oh, I see what you're saying. Electricity. The electric eel. The elect elite. When they're electoral elitism, electric eel. Elect your eel. I elected this eel to be our representative. Is the moon out yet? No. Stars are out. Can't see them in my phone here. Gotta get something out of my car here, but not much to look at, but I'll be running my mouth as I go. My flashlight work? No. Shit. So what do you guys think about the ocean? I mean, is that kind of trippy shit or what? I started thinking about it when Autodidactic was talking about it, Campbell. He's been talking about it for a while now, and it really got my mind going. Like, the whole discussion of, like, the Phoenicians that allegedly came from the ocean. They came on boats, I guess, but, like, there's talk of the Phoenicians actually coming out of the ocean, having been, like, the blue bloods from the ocean that came and kind of took over Rome or whatever. I don't really know what the history we're supposed to believe is, but I do think there's a lot of merit to the whole like Tartaria discussion. Whether or not it's really Tartaria that we're talking about, it's just there's clearly a time period when there was like a worldwide civilization that everybody built the same way, and it was like a really mature civilization that really knew a lot about building. They knew a lot more about their environment than we seem to now. And there's evidence of that all over the world, and it's all like there's like a common theme, you know. I mean, it's like the same style everywhere. It's as if they were all going to the same school or something, you know. I mean, there's something to that because they weren't supposed to be connected back then. It wasn't supposed to be the kind of world where everybody's knowing all the same shit together. And it was like they're supposed to be all separated in their own evolution of their societies or whatever. But the evidence that we have to look at, I mean, Australia is like a young country. They haven't been developing that place for very long. I mean, a couple hundred years. But it's like the buildings and the engineering and the fucking just the engineering alone. I mean, and the stuff that they have there is fucking incredible. And they say it was built by like inmates and crazy people that were like put there, and they're like, you know, inmates basically. They're like fucking convicts, and that's who built all those beautiful buildings. I mean, there's some incredible architecture in Australia. There's no fucking way, man. There's no way. We're being lied to in a big way. I like how my lunch break channel, he's been doing this thing lately where he's he's calling these buildings, these places where, you know, he's calling the records department where they should have blueprints of these buildings that they're claiming so and so built it in whatever year in some like very short time period, usually where it's like impossible to believe they could actually build something that big in that time period with what means they had. And it's like, so these places, they don't have the blueprints. He's already called like 3 different places, and he hasn't found one blueprint or any proof of the story, basically. Like, if you don't have blueprints, then your story is moot, you know. It's like, so we're finding out that the history we've been told is totally bullshit. They don't have any proof. Like, Big Ben doesn't have any blueprints. There's a famous church, one of these huge like basilicas or whatever in New York, that they don't have blueprints. The Chicago Field Museum doesn't have blueprints. And it's like, dude, he's probably going to find that none of these fucking old world buildings have any blueprints. There's no proof of how they were built. And that's like, that's a smoking gun right there, man. That just puts everything in check. Like, we can't trust any of their stories now because they don't have any proof to back it up. If you don't have blueprints, you can't make any stake. You can't claim anything about what the story is, how it was built. You can't say that you know how it was built if you don't have the blueprints. That's like a real problem for people that want to start telling you stories about how it was built. Well, how do you prove that kind of thing? You would have to have blueprints or some kind of planning how the thing was built. And I guarantee nobody knows. That's why I think that's why they tear down a lot of these old buildings, so they can figure out how they were built. I've heard accounts that people, when they're tearing down these buildings, like in the past, I've heard like, you know, secondhand information where the people that were doing the demolition were finding like the walls were lined with different kinds of metal, copper and like conductive metal. the kind of shit, dude. It's like obviously there was something going on there. They didn't just. I mean, it was metal that was. It wasn't visible. It wasn't being done for decoration purpose. You know, it was. It was being utilized for a different reason. It was inside the walls. You can't make the argument that they put all the metal in the walls for any kind of decorative, purposes. It was obviously for conductive purposes. So they were doing something. There was technology going on there, and like we just didn't understand how to use it, so we just started tearing it apart. Like our society that we're in now, it has a really immature, sort of punky sort of vibe where it's like we can't understand something, we just kind of destroy it. And people just don't want to be honest. There's like this real capitalistic kind of exploit everything to whatever angle. If you got information about something, you just keep it to yourself. And there's like this punky, sort of immature personality, like the society at large kind of has this sort of like, every man for himself kind of thing, where it's like that's how the stories have developed in a way where there's just so many lies and so many fucking tall tales being told, and just claims that were probably told, and there's conspiracies taking place where it's like they don't want us to know that things got reset, that we're all like basically. I mean, I want to know like how many people actually can trace their lineage back, further than like the 17 1600s, like can do you guys, anybody in here listen to me, can you guys, how far back can you trace your lineage? Because I'm curious. I mean, do we all spring from ancestry of orphanage? Like, is there an orphan somewhere at the top of our family tree, or the bottom, or what, however it works? But did we all spring from orphans? I mean, it's wild. It's like all the orphans. It's like as though they took over a place, killed all the parents, and then had all these kids to deal with. I don't know. It just seems there's something about the orphans. I mean, why was there so many fucking orphans? They were selling people. That was a thing. Like those old postcards that have like kids for sale. That's what the imagery was showing. Kids for sale. I love you. Have you guys seen those old postcards? Kids for sale. It's like it was a theme. I mean, I've seen videos where people put it like compiled a bunch of them together, where it's like that was a running theme. Like there's a lot from France, where there's like Cabbage Patch Kids, or like kids for sale. That was a thing that was happening back in the day. It was like, yeah, exactly, the Cabbage Patch Kids. But that's not. I mean, that wasn't just an isolated thing. I mean, it was worldwide, and there it wasn't just Cabbage Patch Kids. There was all kinds of weird. The theme was basically you're going to buy kids. You're going to buy people. It's as though people hadn't really become acquainted with like children yet. Like I don't know. There was like this weird attitude towards children where that wasn't like, where people didn't respect, like there was like child labor, and like the whole thing with the fucking incubators. It was like before the incubators were around, like the story was like people did, when there was like premature babies, they would just throw them away. There was like such a lack of concern for life. Like it was just such a weird society. Was so strange. The way they viewed certain things, it's as though they were just starting off. Like they didn't. The way that children were being viewed by society, and there was like propaganda that was geared towards making people like accept the idea of buying children, like kids for sale. What in the fuck is that all about? There's more to the story there that we're not being told. It wasn't just cute imagery. I mean, it was so prevalent. There was so much of it that it's like there was something going on. It was propaganda. They're trying to make people okay with the idea of buying kids. That's weird. I mean, what do you make of that? Like, why would that be a thing? Why was there a time period when buying children was like encouraged? It's so bizarre, man. That's another one of these things I can't just sweep under the carpet. Like, There's something more to that story that we're not being told. How did that ever become a thing? They say it was because of the war or something. It was like there was all these wars, and like the parents were dying, but like I don't know. It's like typically in a war, I think the man goes away. There would be the men that were killed, but like the woman would still be there taking care of the kids. I have a hard time believing there'd be that many kids without families. There's like hundreds of thousands of like orphan kids that had no families, no notion of where they came from. It was just like a blank slate. And then there was all these people in insane asylums. So all these adults were in insane all over the place. There was these huge insane asylums full of adults that were getting like experimented on, and removed from their families. They had no freedom. And then there was all these kids that were riding around on trains being sold. I mean, there was some whack shit going on that we're not getting a full account of what happened. I mean, the fact that that information even exists seems, it just needs to be questioned. It needs to be brought out into the light, because there's something more to that story. I mean, why would there be so many people in insane asylums? Why was there such a demand for like these huge insane asylums all of a sudden? That's not what a young society would be requiring. And a young society wouldn't have that many homeless kids. There's something else going on here, man. There's too many clues we have that are just like glaring blemishes that just don't jive logically. It's not intuitive. It doesn't. Here's the thing: when a story doesn't make sense, it's because it's a lie. And so we know that much. We're being told half truths or just flat out lies, and we're just left scratching our heads. I mean, basically, like reality is a conspiracy. Like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, and so that's the thing. We're in a society. This is what I was getting at. We're in a society. Like, if we all like our ancestry all ties back to like these poor kids, these traumatized orphans. Like, we come from a long line of trauma. Basically, it's trauma gets handed down each generation. It's like, and if all our family trees tie back to these poor kids that were just these orphans without any idea of where they came from, and they were just mistreated and fucking sold. Like, that's some serious major trauma. If our society all sprung out of that trauma, I mean, it's no wonder we're like an unhealthy society that's traumatized. It takes a while to shed that. I mean, we don't know where we're from. We're suffering from amnesia as a society, and it's like it took us a while to even get our morals intact. I mean, we used to be okay with selling kids and putting kids to work in the factories. What the fuck? That's like, that just rubs me the wrong way. It's all about trauma, really. It's like we're trying to heal from trauma. And there's ways to do it, but it's like almost impossible to do it if you don't know where the trauma is coming from. And that's why I think it's kind of important research, the whole Tartaria thing, because I think it's actually digging up some shit that needs to be addressed. Like the orphan thing and the insane asylum thing, like there was a reset of sorts that we're not we're not being clued in on. I mean, not to mention that like the thing is with the cities in the world, like some of the well-established, like San Francisco or New York. I mean, all the major cities, really, there's like cities underneath them. There's like older cities that they're built on top of. And I have half a mind to think that those cities have cities underneath them too. And I think it's just cities all the way down. Like Earth is just piling, piling up. I mean, how do we know? Like if there's a city under each city right now, there's got to be cities under those cities. I mean, it's just like cities on top of cities on top of cities. It probably is just cities all the way down. Isn't that crazy? That's a crazy thought. I think it might be true. Like the city of Chattanooga, there's an entire city underneath it, and there's no historical record of why that is. There's like like I can't think of words right now. I'm having a hard time. It's like anecdotal. It's like in the history books they say something about how they had to raise the street level in Chattanooga. But if you go to look in the historical archives, of like when that would have occurred, there's no evidence of that ever happening. And then if you look at the older photos, you'll see that the streets are still the same level as they were before the date that they say they raised the street level. So the fucking historical account, that's in textbooks doesn't check out. There's no evidence to support it. So it's like a story that someone just threw out there just to kind of cover up the fact that there's an obvious, there's a city underneath the city. It's a well-known fact in Chattanooga. It's like one of these kind of urban myths where it's like, they'll teach you that they had to raise the street level because of flooding. And there is flooding in Chattanooga, but it's like, but there's no historical record of them raising the street level. In fact, there's no proof that they ever had to do that. But there is proof that there's a city underneath Chattanooga, but there's not proof that we had anything to do with. I mean, it's just like we found that place, basically. And there's a city under it, and there's probably a city under that, and it keeps going down all the way. But yeah, it's like that. There's like these lies that get inserted into the narrative where it's like, who's responsible for that? I mean, are they just trying to cover their own ass? I mean, is there like a worldwide conspiracy taking place where we're not being told about a reset? Where it's like, is there like some larger experiment taking place, that we're just not even privy to? Who is the grand architect, anyways? But then there's talk of like God having been created by a God that's greater than him, and then there's another God that created that God, and there's gods all the way up too. It's like the idea of infinity. I mean, you never really get there, because where something ends, something else begins. There's no such thing as nothing. You never get to the end or the beginning, or it's just just keeps going. Like you want to just say, oh, there was a big bang, and that's how it all started. We'll just trace it back to right there. It was a big bang. We don't care how the stuff got there to bang in the first place, but there was just a big bang, and then everything, we just make up the rest of the story. There was some mysterious miracle of a big bang, it's a mystery miracle. There's a big bang. See, the scientific story only requires one miracle for it to work, but they don't want to claim that God exists, so they're going to ask for a miracle while saying there's no God. I'm sorry, but that doesn't work. So that's just the whole idea of like science being like this objective, explanation for our reality. I mean, it's clearly not the case. Oh, hi, Raccoony. I guess it wasn't enough food. You know what the opposite of progress is? The opposite of progress. Progress. The opposite of progress would be Congress. Congress. Congress, the opposite of progress. Sounds about right. You know what the opposite of opposite is? The opposite of opposite. I'll tell you what the opposite of opposite is. The opposite of opposite is the same thing. Does that make sense? Get out of here, Raccoon. You're the big bad one. The big bad mama that wants to yell at her kids when they're trying to eat. All right, I'm kind of out of stuff to talk about. What are you guys doing? No one talks about the true God. Well, is there a true God? You know what I don't like is this Lord God. It's like in the beginning, God created everything, the heavens and earth, and he created man and woman, and he said, be fruitful and multiply. That's the end of the story right there for me. I don't need to hear anything else. But then after that, this Lord God comes along, and then he creates man and woman out of mud. And he does some voodoo magic and pulls a rib out and fucking blows life up their nose, does some weird shit. And it's like, that's like some voodoo weird shit. That's not what God, he spoke everything into existence. He didn't go mold people out of mud and blow up their nose. That's some other shit. That's what Lord God did. And then Lord God proceeds to meddle in their lives and, like, fucking whatever. Just like all this shit happens. They discover good and evil and life and death and, you know, sex, drugs, and rock and roll or whatever. But the story just unfolds in a really weird way. I mean, it's like when you start off with just Adam and Eve, there's a man and a woman, and then it's like we're going to have to turn into like a full population. I mean, it's like it requires incest, because I mean, that's the part of the story that doesn't get focused on too hard. But at any rate, they had two kids. They had Cain and Abel. So one's Cain and one's Abel, and one's able-bodied, and then one needs a Cain. And it's like he's the bad one, and then there's Abel, the good one. I mean, they were aptly named people, and it's like naturally Cain got bitter and pissed off because he was Cain, needed a Cain. He wasn't able-bodied, and Abel was a good one. So Cain got bitter and he killed Abel. And then Cain got fucking cursed and everything was all fucked. Off to a bad start. But when you have Cain and Abel, Cain plus Abel, I just can't help but think of the word cannibal. Cannibal. Cain and Abel. They were cannibals. Incestuous cannibals. But it's like, where did they had two boys. Like, did they have daughters ever? Or I mean, how does the family tree unfold after? How does it start? I mean, do you guys know the answer to that one? Cannibals. But like, there's the Canaanites or whatever. They're like the bad. There's like these 12 tribes of Israel. Like whatever happened to the other tribes is like the tribe of Judah is all like trying to claim Israel as like their. I don't even know if they're the tribe of Judah or anything. But that's what they claim. They're the Jews, and that Israel is theirs. But there was other tribes of Israel. There was 12 tribes of Israel, not just the tribe of Israel. There was 12. Did they all get killed off? I mean, I haven't read the Bible, obviously. But like, what? I mean, does Israel, like the Israelites, did they want to? There was 12 tribes. It wasn't just the one tribe of Israel. But that's how it's kind of being pitched today. It's like the one tribe of Israel, the Jew tribe of Israel. It's not like the 12 tribes anymore. It's just the one, the Judah, the Israel, the only chosen people. That shit gets my goat, man. It's like, where did I come from? Well, I came from my parents, and my parents came from my dad. I think my last name is Coe. I think it was my dad's last name, but I think it's Coe is like a English maybe origin. But my mom's last name was Smith, which is German. But I don't think we can trace our. I mean, I know that my great grandma was living in Salinas in a tent, working on a farm. She was a farmhand, and she had 11 kids. And it's like that's what was going on. Like, it's like my great grandma. That many generations ago, where there was a whole different lifestyle taking place in Salinas, living in a tent, a canvas tent, working on a farm with 11 kids. It's wild. And I don't think I can trace back older than her. Then that's like she was born in like the late 1800s. She lived to be 99. Grandma Goldman. Goldman was her last name. And there's like the Goldman family is actually pretty. I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of famous Goldmans. There's Gary Goldman. He's like the movie. There's a lot of those cartoon movies like the Secret of Nim, or like I think it's called American Tail with the little mice, cartoons. It's kind of cute. That's like my second uncle, or I don't know who it is. It's some relation, but the guy that makes those movies is related to my family. The guy that made Secret of Nim. They're movies that came out in the 80s, I think. They're kind of older movies. I think he's made famous movies. I mean, he's worked on several famous movies. They're all like animation, cartoon type shit. Where do I think humans come from? Well, it's like a hue of a man. Like, I mean, I get the impression that man, we were meant to be kind, like mankind. And like, there's some point in time where we've just kind of split off from that. We're not mankind anymore. We're not kind men. We're just a hue of a man. We're just a shade shy of a real guy. The shadow of a man that we used to be. The hue of a man. The color of law. We've been like commandeered by this maritime, this marine based fucking oceanic fucking capture, the blue blooded fucking electric elect the elite with their fucking maritime law that's got us all sized up and being sold off on the stock market, are all like fucking indentured fucking servitude without unbeknownst to anybody. And we've just been like sort of co-opted into this fucking corporation where there's like no accountability, and people just like, we're just having our freedoms slowly fucking eaten up by this beast system that wants to fucking have full control over everything that you do, every thought that you have. Like, eventually people are going to see this, the direction things are going. I think eventually the normie people, or the normie population, is going to fucking wake up, you know? I mean, there's only so much, like, I don't like trying to wake people up. I mean, just people have to want to do it, you know? I mean, I had to pull my own head out of my ass. It's a personal thing. We shouldn't really want to help people do that. It's just they have to do it themselves. But at a certain point, it becomes just like impossible to look the other way. Like, you can't keep sticking your head further up there, you know? I would have thought COVID would have done it for most people, but there's still people going and getting the jabs. It's fucking incredible. And we were warning everybody, they're going to make you take a ton of these jabs. They're not going to fucking, it's not just going to be one and done or two and through or whatever. It's going to be like fucking a yearly thing. It's like, they do it like twice a year now. You get your new booster. What? Each one of those shots comes with a risk of death. And it has to be a regular a shot. You want me to take a regular shot that has a risk of death? It's like, well, maybe this one will do the trick. You never just like playing Russian roulette. Why in the fuck would anyone want to do that? Man, the beast system's going to eat itself. It's like the snake eating its tail, the Ouroboros, you know? It just wants too much. And it like tries to sell this story of like this utopia. Well, it's clearly not. Like, all you have to do is just think about it for a second. Like, it's not the ideal situation to have a centralized, powerful few that are like, that have everybody all, it's like this, everybody's got the same amount of everything and nobody owns anything. Everybody's happy. And they're going to own everything and they still won't be happy. I mean, what are they going to do without Klaus Schwab? He was the best supervillain. The Schwab. Something's going to happen next. I don't know what. They want a civil war. Like, what would happen if we just started kicking off a civil war without any, like... I mean, I just wonder sometimes, like, what if we just started doing something where that... Because I think the news is so controlled where it's like, if something real happens, I mean, they only talk about it if they can control it. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think if something started really kicking off where it was like a big thing, I think they would avoid talking about it on the news. It's like the revolution won't be televised. You know what I mean? It's like a big thing could be happening, and they wouldn't want to talk about it because they would be afraid that people would, like a good thing that would be big, where it's like, but it won't be on TV. It won't, it'll be on social media maybe, but like it won't be acknowledged. They try to play it off like they don't see what we're talking about. That's what really gets my goat. Like, I'll see, like Erica Kirk will be up there having this interview where she's talking about stuff. And it's like, dude, we already know that you're a shady bitch, dude. Don't even try. And you know what everyone's saying. It's like, don't try to play it off like you're just fucking some like honorable person with some kind of moral fiber. I mean, there are actors. Like, I fucking think Charlie Kirk is still alive. I don't think Charlie Kirk is even a real person. That was just a title that it was like a role he was playing. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's like it was a fucking Zionist fucking creation. I mean, that's and the dude that was playing the role, he just got tired. He didn't want to do it anymore because the fucking Zionists have exposed themselves as being like utter dirtbags, and it's just become like it's becoming common knowledge that this Israeli Zionist movement is just a terrible, ugly, bad thing. It's becoming more apparent to the average person, and it's like Charlie Kirk was trying to like connect with, the younger generations going to colleges and having debates with conservative mindset, and it's like, but the kids are starting to be like, what's up with this fucking genocide we're watching? How can you be supporting this, and he was finally starting to crack, and he realized that the people he was talking to, they had a good argument as to why we shouldn't want to support it, and he was starting to like allow that to be spoken about on his platform or whatever, and that's the whole point of like people think Israel took him out, but maybe he was just offered a like a chance to get out of it. They're like, okay, you don't want to be supporting Israel, but this is our creation, we created Turning Point, you're just the figurehead, you're the guy, but like if you don't want to continue supporting Israel, then you're going to have to you need to get out of here, and we need to fucking get this whole thing back on track. It's supposed to be a Zionist propaganda thing, and it's like he wasn't playing the part, and he was just like he felt like he could do whatever he wanted to, but they didn't want him to do that. They were trying to offer him money to straighten his ship out, but he was like, no. That's what the story is, at least. But then he gets shot, and the story about who shot him is all this fishy bullshit that's obviously a lie. And then you have Bibi Netanyahu coming on right away. Oh, he's our best friend, and we wouldn't kill him. It's just like this. The world leaders, like the most important people, and they're all talking about it, and they're all like trying to like say he was their best friend, and Trump has this picture that he had fabricated of him and Charlie. But it's like, this is weird, man. And like with fucking Cash Patel all telling these stories and just being totally slippery and fucking dude, not saying anything that's remotely believable, and then Erica Kirk with her fucking fake crying and her weird whispery like fucking it's just so weird, and just terrible acting. It's just the worst. It's like watching a really bad soap opera. But here, like, maybe Charlie Kirk was just like, okay, I need to get out of this thing. I don't want to be part of this anymore. I can't support Israel. And apparently I can't continue doing this where I'm like exposing Israel. So, like, maybe he was offered a chance to, like, hey, look, dude, you can just get assassinated, quote unquote, and you can go carry on elsewhere, Valhalla or whatever. You just fucking, we'll just see you later. But, like, either that or, you can really get killed. But like, maybe it was more of just like an operation where like we're gonna get this character out of the mix now. We got to keep this Zionist propaganda thing going, and so you can duck out. You can fake your death, on live TV where everybody in the world gets to see you get your fucking neck blown out or whatever. Squib games, squib games. Yeah, his fucking rubber hands. The little dummy. She had her video of her kissing his rubber dummy. It's just morbid, dude. It's fucking wrong. She's all acting like, I don't want to have the public know where he's buried, but you want to have your public see you kissing a rubber dummy? Weirdo. She's been on all these talk shows lately. It's like, don't you have kids? I mean, like, you're flying across the country. She's all over the place. I mean, I thought you had kids, Like, didn't you go through some trauma recently? Like, what are you doing? Flying all over the country, making all these appearances on fucking stupid talk shows? Acting all like fucking, I don't know, dude. It's just like obviously propaganda, It just seems like it's not reality. It's not like she's being real or anything. I haven't seen any sign of anybody grieving at all or being shocked or traumatized by this event. None of the Turning Point people or Eric, none of them look like they've even been. None of them look like tore up at all. There's no shock or sadness or trauma. I haven't seen any sign of that in any of their faces. And it just makes me think, well, they were all in on it, and it was even Charlie. It was this big, it's this big operation. It's this big like enactment. They had the big memorial. It was all planned out. They didn't that big memorial they had for Charlie Kirk. That happened like within like it was like 11 days after his murder. It takes longer than 11 days to plan something like that. I'm sorry, dude. Like that thing was they had pyrotechnics in it. And it's all lighting and sound. I mean, it was a full on like it was a full on whatever production, and it was not something that you'd put together that quickly. And there was like 100,000 people there or something. It was fucking incredible. Like, what in the fuck was that all about? That shit was wild, man. Yeah, and her faceless children and shit, and their phony ass little videos that are up in here with all her fucking weird syringes of blood that she was taking pictures of. I mean, she's a fucking weird chick, dude. I mean, it's just a weird script, is what it is. I mean, she's just an actress. Really, I mean, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I know I don't believe any of it. I can't. I mean, it's just the story doesn't make sense. And like I said, if a story doesn't make sense, it's a lie. Stories have to make sense. And it's really easy for a story to make sense because it's real. It's like for a true story to make sense. Like if I told a story of like, you know, I'm gonna smoke some pot. I'm gonna light it, then I'm gonna smoke it. So it's like the story it makes sense. It's like what I would do. There's nothing about that story that sounds untrue. But if I was gonna tell a story about like, some trans fucking loving furry fucking gun toting normal looking dude who wants to kill somebody because he says something about trans people or something, and then I don't show you any evidence of it, and I show you these fabricated text messages, and the story keeps slipping around everywhere, and fucking the whole thing just stinks, and it's fucking the evidence doesn't line up. You can't shoot somebody with a 30-06 without blowing their head to smithereens. And so that part of the story doesn't check out. I mean, just the very basic elements of the story. It's like they didn't put any thought into it. I mean, it's like there's mistakes on purpose or something. I don't. Shit bugs me. Pissed on breadcrumbs. Following a trail of pissed on breadcrumbs. The life of a pissed on breadcrumb chaser. And Candace Owens, I mean, it's like, dude, I can't get over the fact that her father, I think it was, her father or grandfather, I think it's her father, that was like the fucking was working security during the Handy Shook fucking incident. Like, that's just fucked up. And she wants to like pick apart this assassination. Why don't we talk about the Handy Shook incident? Like, her dad worked during that day at the fucking Handy Shook fucking incident. That's weird, right? How could you trust somebody whose dad worked at that? Like, I mean, has she addressed that? I mean, has that been brought up? I mean, that's the first thing I would ask her. So your dad was there during that incident? You understand all the conspiracy theories about all that and how the story doesn't check out and all the crisis actors and stuff? Well, you're aware of that, right? I mean, she has to be aware of it, being that she's like in on like where she's like down with the conspiracy research or whatever. Doesn't she realize that her father, like one of the bigger conspiracy theories that's out there is that Handy Shook was totally just a stage thing, that nobody got killed, and like she's aware that that's a I mean, that's like way up in the mix. That's like mainstream. Everybody knows about that, and so it's like her dad worked there, security. I mean, if that's, and that information's like what's Ian Carroll was talking about that. So it's like that information is becoming widely circulated right now amongst people that know, someone's going to have to ask her about that pretty soon. And I'm curious how she's going to respond. Because that shit's whack, dude. And what's she going to say? Oh, yeah, people are going to, the next question is, so was it real? Like, so what? So how come, like, what did he say? You know, like, what in the fuck, dude? Anybody involved with that is like, dude, like anybody that's involved with that, that's going along with the story that, that the narrative that goes with it. I mean, they need to be questioned. There's no way that they can be considered trustworthy, in my opinion. I mean, it seemed pretty fake to me. What do you think? Shit on my head. I think Handy Shook was fake. And I also hope that it was fake, but I mean, I also think it was fake. I mean, it's just weird that each parent would be tied to, like, each parent would be, like, have ties to the White House and to Hollywood. Each parent was like, there was, like, this common theme, They had all appeared in some, like, media thing where they were either on, some show or some commercial. They were all actors, basically. That's the part that really caught my interest. And like each parent, you can go through it and look at each parent of these supposed, deceased kids. They were all actors and actresses, each parent. They had all had like a, lightweight sort of acting career where it wasn't like they were famous, but they'd tried, they were like failed actors. They're crisis actors. So they all have ties to the White House too, or like a lot of them do. There's like, Obama's friends, whatever, that kind of thing where they're like, you can link them to the White House within like a couple of people there. They were all like either that or they were in the White House, visiting somebody or whatever. Each parent had these. There was a common theme, where it's like each parent was like an actor, and each parent had been like, mucking with the fucking with the powers, with the fucking ill eat. Let the elite eat the elite, and their ill meat, their ilk, their ilk. The elite. Let them eat the elite. Eat the elite. It's ilk meat. Eat the elite and their ilk. It's ill meat. The ilk of elite. The ilk. Them and their ilk. What ilk? What does that word mean? It's like your kind. Your ilk. ILK, is that how it's pronounced? Or spelled, I mean? You and your ilk. All game shows are just actors, too. What do you mean, game shows? I think all game shows are just. You mean like, I'm trying to think what you mean. All game shows are just actors. Well, yeah, I mean. That's right. She was, like, her husband went on TFE, huh? I forgot about that. Oh, you mean you think the game shows are just people acting? They're not really, like, not playing a game or, like. Yeah, I wondered about that, too. Where they just have, they're not even giving anyone any money or anything. It's just for ratings. Oh, man. I think Mr. Beast does some of that. I think Mr. Beast has gotten caught doing that, where people have like debunked some of his, gracious gifts that he gives to people, and it's like it turns out he wasn't giving anybody anything. Makes it seem like he's just giving away his money to people all over the place. That dude's sketchy as fuck, Mr. Beast. Fuck that. Someone should do like a lab test on his candy that he has. Make sure there's no like sketchy shit in it. Human DNA and whatnot. That dude's sketchy. And he's, I don't know, it's just weird. But he's been caught lying about, his video. He makes these, like, lowbrow videos where he's, like, giving away things to people. Like, where it's like, you can have as many iPhones as you can stack up in one pile, whatever, like brand new iPhones in their box. However many you can stack, you can bring with you. It's like, why would somebody want 20 iPhones? Or it's like, he's just giving them away. I don't know. I don't trust that guy. State lottery games too, yeah, for sure. That kind of money isn't just given. That it's a different kind of situation. It's so easy to rig something like that. So easy, dude. that it's just like a no-brainer, you know. I mean, they could just it's so bad. Nobody has to be given any money. They give it to one of themselves or whatever. But no, they don't give it. I mean, they're just busy raking in money, you know. It's like, there's no like no prize. They're just taking all people's money and that's it. And they're making it look like they give money to somebody, but it's just one of them, and they don't give them money. They just already had a ton of money because they're just part of the whole scheme. It's a whole scam. I mean, I guess it's like state. I mean, I don't even understand the whole logistics of it, but it's state sponsored like lottery where there's like anything that's with the word state in it is not to be trusted. I don't know. I don't think we need government personally. I think they just make our lives more difficult. They don't help anybody. All they want to do is scam you and take your money and your freedom away. That's all they want to do. They just want to scam you. You better act fast, jackass. Last chance a hammer in the breast. No time for lagging, nagging, bragging, dragging ass. Or acting like a maniac. Do you wonder why exactly I'm explaining that? Just consider the fact that once you grab your plug out, there isn't gonna be a way to turn back around. Cause this whole thing's gonna come down. That's right. So low. Too loud. You better act fast. I love that tuning. It's so low. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Someplace that I got to go. Somewhere far away from you. Far from anyone that we both know. It's just time to start again. Let go and just get my grip. Back in touch with what's in front. What's in front of me. I got to pull myself together now. To someone that I have to be. Hell and back didn't seem like that far, but it was far enough for me. I never I got to keep on traveling, traveling. There's someplace that I got to go, somewhere far away from you, far from anyone that we both know. It's just time to start again, to let go and just get my grip back in touch with what's in front. What's in front of me? I got to pull myself together. There's someone that I have to be. Hell and back didn't seem like that far, but it was far enough for me. I never will forget the things at the time I didn't even see. Now it's all just as plain as day to me. I will lose myself and find everyone else and try to tie it all together. I got to tie it all together and to tie it together now. I got to tie it together now. I got to tie it together. I got to tie it all together and make sense of my life and try keeping it together. Well, I feel like we all could be a lot more satisfied with the way we live around each other. You know you got to travel sometimes to figure out if you're alright. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, 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 so long, goodbye, I'm gone, baby. I just got to move on. I got to keep on traveling. I got to keep on traveling. Yeah, yeah, so long, goodbye, I'm gone, baby. Ooh, I'll see you on the other side. I'll see you on the other side. Yeah, 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 so long, goodbye, I'm gone, baby. So long, goodbye, I'm gone, but I'm only traveling. I'm only traveling. I'll be back someday. I'll send you a postcard along the way. I'm only traveling, traveling, traveling. I'm only traveling. I'll be back someday. I don't make waves, I ride them. I get inside them and let them guide me in. I don't know where these waves begin, but I know where they will end. I just wanna ride them, I just get inside them and let them guide me in. It can take a toll on your soul when you got nowhere to go and nothing fun left to do. I know only so far you can go before these waves catch up with you. Out there on that horizon, I can see those waves coming in. Get inside the pipeline, it's a straight line every time. I don't make waves, I just take them and let them guide me. I don't make waves, I ride them. I get inside them. I don't know where these waves begin, but I know where they will end. Got to look out for that undertow. It can bring you down under into the big drink down there where all water sinks to its own level, way below the notion of my musical emotion. And sit there in the air. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. The quickest to brag, it's a pat on his back. The quickest to back, the back. The got rich quick, he gets the benefit. No shit, that's what you get. A shit you not, that's what you got. It's a cheap shot. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Your fixations are evasive, in the end they just get lost in a stream of like-minded bad ideas that just run off. They're solid matter of fact, like that. Down into the big drink where all water does sink down, down to its own level. Down into the big drink where all water does sink down, down to its own level. Way below the notion of my musical emotion that can sit there in the air above your ocean of despair, where collective cynicism, negative organisms are swimming in them. Red tide, ripping them up, spitting them out. Red tide, spare me from the glare, I'm aware you're down there, ambivalent, but living it, blatantly benign, denied, defunct. Oh, well, floating is better than being sunk. Oh, floating is better than being sunk. 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 Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. The quickest to brag, it's a pat on his back. The quickest to back, the back. The got rich quick, he gets the benefit. No shit, that's what you get. A shit you not, that's what you got. It's a cheap shot. It's a cheap shot. Rags or riches, to riches it gonna be. Rags or riches, to riches it gonna be. Rags or riches, or which one is more wicked? Is it the rag or is it the rag? Which one is more wicked? Which is it gonna be? The rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Rags to riches, to riches, to rags. Oh, rags to riches, to riches, to rags. The quickest to back, it's a bet on his back. The quickest to bet, the back. The got rich quick, he gets the benefit. With nothing but half of the full spectrum. A positively pure potential gets rejected and neglected. While cobwebs collected, I get affected. I still will fly up in your face. I'm high, how are you? Hung up, found to be visibly, physically bone dry. Your fixations are evasive, in the end they just get lost in a stream of like-minded bad ideas that just run off. They're all solid matter of fact, like that, down into the big drink water does sink down, down to its own level. Down into the big creek where all water does sink down, down to its own level. Down into the big creek where all water does sink down, down into its own level. Down into the big creek where all water does sink down, down to its own level. Way below the notion of my musical emotion that comes in the air above your ocean of despair. Down there, oh, spare me from the glare. I'm aware that you're down there, you're just ambivalent, but living it so blatantly benign, denied, defunct, punked. Oh well, floating is better than being sunk. Floating is better than being sunk. Floating is better than floating is better than floating is better than being sunk. Better than being sunk. Floating is better than being sunk. It's just better than being sunk. Floating is better than being sunk. Demoted. Demoted to despair. Demoted into the moat. The royal king did a royal flush, and his royal turd flushed down into the royal moat. Got eaten by a royal goat. That was the story. He did a royal flush. He flushed his royal flush. He flushed his royalty down the toilet into the royal moat. Okay, this song just went way off the rails. Let's do something different. It was the truth. The truth, and when I found it, and power brought me down underground, showed me things I'd seen in dreams. Secrets crawling from the tunnels of my mind. It was my mind, and when I touched it, a power brought me down underground, showed me things I'd seen in dreams. Some obscene. There's a voice that's calling out to me. Come with me behind the screen. All you'll see is not for real. Come with me behind the screen into the great bazaar. Into the great bazaar. Into the great bazaar. A ray of light to guide my way. I stumble blindly from the cave. A ray of light to guide my way. A ray of light to guide my way. A ray of light to guide my way. I stumble blindly from the cave. This thing sounds like shit. That's a cool bag you got.
I love it.
Love you.
I have ramen cooking upstairs, so I'm gonna go back.
Oh yeah. Ramen. Okay. Dang, we're gonna have to go get smokes. I love you too, baby. I'm almost done with my show. This is like a 2-hour show. Almost. Or no, is it 2 hours? Yeah, it's been more than 2 hours. This is like a. It's a, what is it? It's a Wednesday. It's a hump day special. The Dr. Bass hump day special. Look at my piece of Tartarian art that I'm making. I want it to resemble like one of them fucking, like a Moscow building or whatever. One of them like Moscow type little like fucking little fancy little tops. They're all colorful and all cool shaped. It was just a piece of wood that was on top of a bedpost. It was wood colored, and then I painted it to look all fancy. But I think it looks cool. Like, what does it look like next to me? Do I look good next to it? I don't know what to do with that kind of art. I could make like a little miniature, like a little hobbit, little like, I don't know. It'd be fun to make like a fancy, like psychedelic colored bird house. Maybe that's what I'll do with it. Am I muted or something? I was rocking? Okay, I wasn't muted. That's good. I mute myself sometimes. It's funny. Do it, straight laces. Oh, you had to take off? You little fucker. Do it, straight laces. I love that screen name. That's a good one. The stars are out. It's a trip. Like they really did use real world observations, and they used mathematical calculations and envisioned the world as a certain shape, strictly based on what they were seeing in the sky. And what's crazy is that it actually makes sense, but it's just not true, is the thing. It's just like they followed a certain train of logic, like it's strictly like all of it was just based on their faith in understanding the sky and what it's doing, and like and how how it's functioning or whatever. But it's strictly just patterns they're watching. I mean, that's all we can ever see. We look up in the sky, we see patterns, things that repeat. There's smaller patterns and bigger ones, and it's all just patterns. And so we want to try to understand what that tells us about where we live. I mean, like we feel like we're on this place and it's located in this, we're like led to believe that this sky that we see is like wrapping around us. And so we're just like, like we're floating in what we see above us, but we're not really given any evidence to support that. Like, we're supposed to think that the whole entire Earth, I mean, you know how much weight that is? The whole entire Earth is like suspended in nothing. It's like not, like how they say, you see the moon float by or whatever. It's like, we're like that. It's just suspended in nothing, this big ball. Okay, but like, I guess if that's your only evidence, that's kind of still lacking. I mean, I guess you kind of made your point in the sense, well, a big ball can float through the sky, so why aren't we a big ball floating through the sky? But that's, it's like your opinion, man. It's not good enough. I mean, why does the sky have to be like the location that we're in? I mean, why can't the sky be in our location? You know what I mean? It's like, why do we have to be, what we see in the sky, why does it have to be the location that we're in? Like, we're like drifting through this place called space. Why can't it just be like what we see in the sky is located where we're at versus the other way around. Like, why can't we just say that, like, we're at this place here and it has a sky above it? Like, we don't have to consider ourselves, like, to be located in the sky, floating through this endless void. I mean, we could always just, instead of assuming that to be true, we could just assume that we're in this place that has a sky that belongs to it, and it's a pattern that we watch. You know, it's like it's these deep cycles that we're watching. You know, from the small, like from the the daily cycle to the like the yearly to the the zodiac signs and the fucking we have these cycles that branch out and the lunar cycles, the eclipse cycles, and there's all these different cycles and seasons and it's a deep calendar that we're witnessing, and I mean, it's just say it for what it is. Just accept it for the truth of what it is. It's just a calendar. We're watching like a clock. I mean, it's what all clocks and calendars are modeled after in the first place. Is the sky. We're just witnessing a clock, and like we're on this plane of existence. We have no reason to think this isn't a planar reality. It is. That's what we experience. And what we witness in the sky is like we're watching a really fancy clock. It's like it's interact like we're engaging with this clock. I mean, we need the clock. The sun is like awfully important, and just the whole thing. It's all connected, and it's not like this haphazard like realm where all these things are just flinging around all randomly and being affected by gravity to some extent and pulled this way and that way and imploding on themselves and coalescing and whatever. All this weird, crazy shit that's not really anything to do with like patterns. It's more like just crazy randomness. But yet, all we ever experience is this perfect rhythm. And we don't ever feel any motion underneath us. I mean, if you want to talk like the rising earth discussion, that's a different kind of thing we're talking about. It's not really like the motion that we're discussing here. Like, that's just what we're talking. If you want to talk about like the even nitty gritty details of like what creates our orientation and the reality itself, I mean, things start to get pretty crazy because like, but that's a different kind of thing. I'm talking about spin or like, this orbit that we're supposedly on. I mean, it's not anything that we actually can measure or like, with any kind of. There's no detection of that motion. It's like it's not there, man, and there's no curvature. So like, you can't just dismiss these facts with theory. I mean, it's like Lucky Haskins always says. It's like if it's not demonstrable, then you shouldn't hang your hat on it. It's about all there is to it. As far as like Jaron's argument is concerned, where it's like it has to be a globe because of the way the sun's working and what places are being lit by it at what times, and he makes a compelling argument. But like I said, we don't know. The sky is like very predictable in a way, but we also don't. I mean, like I say, we could just be witnessing a fancy light show that fucks with your head a little bit. If you study it too closely. I mean, talk about fucking with your head. Gets you believing that you're spinning on a ball flying around the sun. I mean, that's, if it was true, they wouldn't be faking space. They would just do it for real. Because by their definitions, I mean, it's like they say they know how to go out there and like explore and go to Mars, but their shit's fake. So that would just tell you that none of the shit that they're saying is true. In my opinion. Anyways, I gotta go, Justina. Love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. It's not true. Yeah, it's all fake. That's the bottom line. It's frustrating though, because people believe in it. Anyways, I gotta go to bed. Love you. Good night.